Hi guys, how you all doing? First of all, my name is Jason Joseph. This is Play by Play with JJ. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great day. Oh, I totally realized that I do not have the live chat up, so I have to do that. Before we dive into everything, first of all, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, turn on those notification bell icons too, so that way you know when I upload. Sorry about the delay. I really do apologize about that. I forgot I got a new StreamYard account, so I have to play around with like the new virtual audio inputs and outputs and stuff because OBS has like a ton of ways of reaching out to people, or it's just a long, complicated thing. So, thank you for your patience. Thank you for sticking with me. All right, we're gonna dive into this in just a little bit. I want to make sure that I have the chat popped out. There we go. Good. And over here. Where are we? All right. Does this work? Does this work? There we go. Okay, good. All right, I just typed in hi. All right, guys. With that being said, let's enjoy the show. All right. So the Phillies, man. The Phillies have been. I think that the best way to describe this team is that they are competitive, but they're also it's really hard actually. I thought I had the word and then it just slipped out of my head, but they can compete with anybody. They're a team that is just very inconsistent, right? They have times where the bats just do really, really well. You know, they can have that one inning of 6-7 runs, and of course, like they're coming from behind and they're trying to do more stuff offensively in that sort of sense, and the pitching hasn't really been up to par. But I really think that the main identity of this team has just been that when the innings really matter, they try to come through offensively and they really try to just take care of business, and they can beat the best opponents in the league. Okay, they did not have a good series. They did not. They did not play well throughout the first 6 2/3 of today's game. It was really tough to watch, or it was really tough to listen to. I couldn't watch it. I was listening to it on the radio. But anyhow, I just know that with this team that they can compete and that they can beat anybody in the league. And I'm not telling you that they're better than the Braves. I'm not telling you that they're better than the Dodgers. I'm not saying that at all. I know that just from what I've seen at Citizens Bank Park and during certain times of the year, that they can just compete with the big guns that are out there. I've seen it, and I'm going with my gut. All right, let's talk about individuals. Let's get into Trey Turner. Trey has been doing a much better job ever since August 5th. I think we all can acknowledge that. All right, say what you want about the standing ovation, whether it worked or not. The fact of the matter is that he's hitting home runs and he's doing what he's supposed to do, and he's getting big-time hits. Okay, I still see him chasing after pitches, and maybe I'm being a little bit nitpicky in that sort of regard. But overall, from an overall Trey Turner standpoint, I'm happy that he's raised his batting average. I'm happy he's getting on base more, and I feel like he's actually starting to do more with the baseball, and his timing just looks like it's absolutely really good. He had a couple of really big 3-run home runs that he had in some really big situations, so that makes me really excited. Bryce Harper, okay, he's in a little bit of a slump now, but I've seen what he's able to do when he gets really hot, and at Citizens Bank Park, man, he can go on such a big run, and he can do a whole lot of stuff with the baseball. If he's carrying the team on his back, I think that's gonna set this team up for success. And overall, I've been really happy with him. He didn't have a good series. Alec Boehmer's been struggling a little bit lately, but he's going to snap out of this funk. I think that my main takeaways, okay, this really isn't like a series recap. This is just my overall thoughts on this team right now, because we haven't done this in a little bit of time, because I've just been so busy and I'm doing a lot of stuff, and it's just a lot to keep up with, and I'm getting off track right here. I just see as clear as day, okay, that it doesn't matter who they go up against. They can stay involved in games. I don't always trust them, But what I do know is that they can stay involved and that they can be very competitive. And I think that that is just who this team is. So I don't know how they're going to do against certain opponents. They can't play down to their opponent because their own worst enemy is themselves. That's what it comes down to. I really do believe that just from watching this team play almost every single day, that there are times when it gets really frustrating, but that's just how baseball is. Baseball is a sport where you can have like the first 6 innings could just be blah, but like the next 2 innings could be really, really great. And for this team, it just takes 1 inning. Okay? They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. Hopefully they get in, and hopefully they don't have a really bad September collapse. I do not anticipate that to be an actual thing, but they will be a tough out. I don't want to have to play against the Brewers. I really don't want that at all whatsoever, but I just know that my gut just tells me that if they can just get a couple of guys hot at the right time, okay, if Kyle Schwarber can start hitting more home runs, he hasn't been doing too bad. He had a pretty good first 2 games. He had a leadoff homer in both of those games, so I can't really knock him. JT might be starting to turn the corner a little bit. I liked the swing that he had today. That sounded really, really good, and I watched it as a replay, and I thought that was great. Alec Boehm's home run today was really nice. I said that I know that he was struggling. He was 5 for his last 23, something like that Scott Fransky said. I can't necessarily recall, but it's hard because I would have loved them to win the division, and that was my goal. My goal was to have them win the whole entire division coming into this season, even without Rhys Hoskins. With that said, though, okay, yes, they failed. They failed that goal, most likely. I cannot see the Braves having an epic collapse. That would be their biggest collapse in franchise history, or at least up there. But I just know that it's about getting hot at the right time. And if they just have the pieces together, okay, if you have to play a home game at Citizens Bank Park, that's not going to be a fun environment for opposing for opponents, because they have to come into that hostile environment, and the fans really have been a factor. I've seen it. I've seen it so much with how loud it gets there, with how rowdy it is over there. When you're in that playoff type of an atmosphere, that changes everything from not only just like the home team perspective, but it gives the away team a disadvantage. I see it, and I'm not sugarcoating what I believe in that sort of regard. I don't know how they're going to be able to take like one of 2 games like in Atlanta or like in LA, or like whoever they're going to have to play. And of course, we have so much time to dissect everything that's going to happen. There's so much baseball left within the month. The final month just got started. I'm really not worried about this team, though. I know that the bullpen has really been struggling, even though today they went 5 innings and they did their job, and that was really good to see. I'm just ready for October baseball. That's where my mind is right now. I want to see this team in October, and I'm actually somewhat feeling pretty confident. I'm not going to lie. This series, did it teach me anything about this team? No. I know that they can play down to their opponents, and they can play really bad baseball, but I've seen them play fantastic baseball too. I've seen them play really, really solid baseball at times. And if they can just put that together for a whole stretch and do it and go on another magical run, I think that that's definitely possible for sure. I still see guys tensing up a little bit on the bats. Guys are still making errors in the outfield, but we expected that. We expected the lack of defense, but I do think that the bats are starting to come around a little bit more, even though this series they didn't really have a too much offense at times. The pitching has to be better, but I come in with this mindset that I actually think that they're going to be all right. But listen, it's been a while since we actually talked about this team and like actually gave our thoughts. But I want to hear what you guys have to say, and I would love to have you guys come on. Please join the Discord server. It's linked down below. I think it's linked down below. I posted it. If you go to the announcements, it's also there as well. Please come on and show your passion about the team, all right? So we're talking about the Phillies, and that's what we're going to be doing, all right? Here we go. We'll invite Larry first because Larry was here first, all right? So, Larry, if you want to come on. Larry, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming on here, dude.
Hey, JJ, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear. Okay. How do you feel about this team, dude? Because I honestly have gone back and forth because I see that when they do really well that they can compete with anybody, but I also see that they do play down to their opponent. But what do your eyes tell you?
Well, I'm like you. I'm not too concerned about the rest of the regular season here, barring some kind of collapse.
Right.
I think they're in good shape to get to the postseason. Hopefully, they'll be the top wild card team, but I think they'll be a wild card team. They'll be in it. My concern is that they're not really super strong or dominant in any one area. Everything's inconsistent. The offense is inconsistent. The starting pitching is inconsistent. Now the bullpen, which has been solid all year, seems to be getting a little shaky, a little inconsistent. They were good today. They were lights out today.
Yep.
So, I see a team winning 88 games, make it in as a wild card team to the postseason. Like I said, up and down in all aspects of the game. And I don't know, there's going to be teams in the postseason that are just going to, end the season on a streak where they're running on all cylinders, and it doesn't look like the Phillies right now. I don't see them flying into the postseason super strong, just blowing people away with the offense clicking or the starting pitching just being dominant. I think it really helps if you have something like that going for you into the postseason, some kind of momentum other than just, a good team, good enough to get into the playoffs, never contended for the division all year.
Nope.
So that was never a thing.
Nope.
And I'm kind of concerned that people just think, well, they made it to the World Series last year as a wild card team. If they get in, that's like, an automatic take it to the World Series again, which, obviously it isn't.
Right.
I'm just kind of concerned that can they just turn it on again like they did last year in the postseason? There's some kind of switch that they're going to have to find to do that, and they're going to hit the postseason and they're going to have to find another gear for that to happen, to get to the World Series. And they haven't really found that all year long. There's been times, August, the offense was great.
Yep.
In June, the pitching was great. They were winning games.
They were winning games on the road. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
But it doesn't all click at the same time,
Right.
It's like the lineup. There'll be some guys that are hot and some guys that can't buy a hit at any given time. And, when the starting pitching is good, then the offense isn't scoring, or the offense is scoring and then the bullpen is blowing games that, they should have won.
Yep.
I mean, it's not bad enough.
The Alpom error.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not tanking their season or anything. They're still, in good shape. They're the top wild card team.
Yep.
But it just seems like it's okay. It's good, Starting pitching is good. The bullpen's good. I think you're going to need more than that in the postseason.
Well, before I let you go, I mean, like, the biggest difference, too, is that Aaron Nola has not been Aaron Nola. And I think that is the most concerning thing of all, because last year he wasn't struggling with guys on base. He wasn't leaving pitches up. Like his pitches weren't flat. And I feel like that has to take into consideration as to why this team is where they are, because if Nola gives you like 6 good outings, that probably is like 5 more wins,
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I'm concerned about, it really helps. I'd rather have two dominant starters, 1-2 in
Yep.
the rotation, and have the rest of the guys be very iffy, very
Supplementary.
questionable. I don't care because you're mostly going to be relying on those two guys. If you have
Yeah.
a good starting rotation, 1 through 5, even 1 through 6, like they have, that doesn't help you much in the postseason. Those
Right.
first two guys are what you really need. You don't
Right.
need a number 5 starter who's
Right.
going good in the postseason. He's going to be in the bullpen, you
Well,
know?
and the other thing too is that we've seen like during the wild card series, especially like last year, when you had those 1-2 punches in Wheeler and Nola, it just made everything so much easier for the rest of the rotation. And it also like gave a little Rob Thompson a little bit more of a cushion too, because he didn't have to rely as much on this bullpen at times because he knew that Nola and Wheeler were going to go deep. And I think that that is one thing that's actually hindered this team in a sense because sometimes they really have been needing to go to the bullpen a little bit earlier. But I don't know, man. I think that the Phillies can be a tough out. I just don't know what I'm gonna get, and I love this team. But I also feel like, especially at home, if they were to host a wild card series at home, it's gonna be really tough for whoever's going to be their opponent. I just don't want to have to. I just don't want to have to play the Brewers. I just don't want to have to play the Brewers.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to play the Brewers. I don't want to have to face Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, and Freddie Peralta. That's a tough rotation right there.
Yeah, I think I'd rather face them than the Dodgers or the Braves, though.
Well, oh no, I'm talking about the wild card series.
Oh, the first round.
Yeah, I'm talking about the very first round. I wouldn't mind playing the Cubs.
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. Yep, I agree.
So, yeah. All right, Larry. Thanks so much for coming on here, man. I'll catch you tomorrow, man. Thanks for always being here.
You're back on tomorrow?
Yep.
You got the game tomorrow?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep. We'll be doing the game tomorrow.
I'll be there.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Good night, Larry.
Right. Take care.
All right, cool. All right, so we got Florida sports. All right, we'll get Florida sports to come on, guys. Hello, if you guys are new to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notification bell icons too, so that way you know when I upload. All right, Florida sports, we'll get you to come on. Let's talk about the Phillies, man. All right, so we'll invite you to come on and speak. There you go, Florida sports. You're on. The Phillies post series pod with JJ. What's going on? What are your thoughts about the Phils, man?
Well, I haven't been paying attention to them. I've been focused on the Rays.
Oh, have
I've
you?
also been waiting one thing I will note is I've been waiting since since before you even joined the live call.
Yeah, man. I've had a lot of technical difficulties tonight. I totally forgot that because I got a new StreamYard account that I have to like reset everything up, including the audio inputs and the audio outputs. And so I was just like, you know what, screw this. We're not going to do this tonight. We're just going to go on to OBS. We're just going to do it this way. And we're just going to make this work because I wanted to hear what you guys have to say. And I haven't done this in a really long time. So, and I would like to start getting back into the swing of things with this. I've just been so busy. But
I get you.
But no, what were you going to say?
But no, like I said, I've just been focusing on the Rays.
Yeah.
We've been working towards getting a playoff spot ourselves. I mean, we've got a solid lead over the Blue Jays. I'm just hoping we can keep that lead.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, baseball, this whole entire baseball season has been really interesting to me. You have teams that I feel like that the only team that is like the biggest threat to anybody, it has to be the Atlanta Braves. I feel like every other team, like it's up for grabs. Like the Houston Astros, I do trust them, and I don't like bet against them, but they really haven't proven to me all season that they're the top dog. The Atlanta Braves have, but I still have doubts about the Braves. I'm really not gonna lie because I saw what happened last year. And even though like they still had 100 wins last year, guess what? The Phillies, they got hot at the right time, and they were just able to take them down. And that's really like what it came down to. So I feel like that we still have a lot of baseball left, but I also see that that this whole thing will be very interesting to see how it all plays out.
Exactly.
So.
You're exactly right. I'm just hoping that the Rays can make it past the wild card round. As we all saw last year, the Rays got swept by the Guardians,
Right.
the team they lost to the series to this weekend.
Yep.
They got swept by them in the wild card last year, so I'm hoping that we can make it further than that.
Man. Yeah, man. All right, I gotta get going. I got 2 more people on here, but dude, thanks for always coming on here, dude. We definitely have to collaborate soon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've been pretty busy myself.
Yeah.
I recently moved to the UK.
Wow,
So,
good for you, dude. There you go.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It's been a very hectic week for me.
I'm sure.
So I'm trying to get settled, everything unpacked, and get settled in. And yeah, I'll be ready to collab as soon as everything is
soon as everything simmers down. Yeah, no, I totally got you, man. I totally got you. All right, brother. I love you. Have a good night. All right.
You too, JJ.
All right, sounds good. All right, Icy Buckets. We're gonna get you on here, and then Snowman, we'll go to you last. Let me get Icy Buckets to come on, really quickly. Icy Buckets, what's going on? You're on the Phillies post series pod with JJ. How you doing, my guy?
Doing great. Man.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Overall, I'm doing really well. How do you think that the Phillies have been doing? Just from an overall perspective.
Yeah, we've been doing pretty good because we did go on a 5-game winning streak, so we were kind of due to lose. Milwaukee is also a really good team too.
Milwaukee is a really good team, but you know what I gotta tell you, man? I love what Trey Turner has been able to do since August 5th, man. Yes.
5 runs in a row in a game. 5 games in a row.
What'd you say? I'm so sorry. I lost you there.
He got 5 home runs in 5 consecutive games.
Yes. No, that's definitely really huge. And Kyle Schwarber hit a couple of leadoff home runs in back-to-back games. That was also really nice to see. I don't know about you, man, but I feel like that this team could be a tough out for anybody in the playoffs. You do too?
Yeah. I was just really mad at Boom.
Yeah, I was mad at him too. How could you not be mad at Alec Bohm? So
that night from that mistake he made.
Yeah, no, I know, man. But sometimes that's just how the game of baseball works. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it is what it is. All right, buddy, I gotta get going. Okay, but I will talk to you soon.
Yep. Goodbye.
All right, have a good night, my guy. All right. Yep. All right, and then last but not least, we'll get Snowman to come on here. All right, we'll invite Snowman to give his thoughts and whatever. Jack, when I see you in the chat, please stop spamming. What's going on? Please stop spamming, or else I will put you in a timeout. All right, cool. Let's invite Snowman to come on here. All right, here we go. Snowman, what's going on?
How's it going, JJ? Good to talk to you.
Oh, it's good to talk to you, too. First of all, I just have to tell you, really quickly, your college football game that you did yesterday, it was really, really awesome. Oh, my gosh. I listened to the whole entire first half, and I was thinking to myself, man, he's actually at Soldier Field.
Yeah. We had a blast at Soldier Field yesterday. My whole crew, my wife, 2 of my best friends that I grew up with in Chicago, they were part of the crew, and the young fellow who attends a Lindblom Academy, who is my student helper. I'm going to make him my mentoree. I'm going to take him under my wing.
Oh, that's so cool.
Teach him what I can. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You said it best, some time back. You recognize talent early.
You do.
And he's absolutely a talent. And if I get this one game in Indianapolis, and I'm looking forward to at the end of the month, I'm going to see if his family can make it out so I can have him in the booth with me again. But he was great. He was absolutely great. And thank you and the rest of the guys for so much love that we had. We had over 1,100 viewers for that game yesterday. Even with the technical hiccups, we had almost 1,100 viewers yesterday.
That's so wild. That's absolutely insane. No, I was really proud of you for that, and I thought it was an overall just like a really awesome cast for sure.
Thank you.
But
Thank you so much.
But man, like I'm definitely getting ready for football. Like I'm getting the schedules out and everything, but I'm still in baseball mode because man, oh man, like this team is just up and down, but like they have that number one wild card spot. How do you think that this team, from what you've seen, from the games that you covered for me, and also thank you so much for doing that, by the way. I totally forgot to tell you that. Thank you so much. From what you've seen, like from your eyes, okay, do you think that this team can be a tough out for anybody in the playoffs?
Even though they've been wildly inconsistent, especially during the second half of the year, they're always going to be a tough out. Period. Yeah. They're always going to be a tough out. The stretch they had against the Angels, where they took 2 out of 3, and I had a chance to do 2 of them, their bats came alive.
Yep.
And I feel their bats are coming alive at the right time. Everybody wants to put their money on Atlanta to win the World Series. Everybody wants to put their money on someone else. But I often say this, and I will continue to say it. To be the champs, you got to beat the champs.
Right.
And until I see the Atlanta Braves in October or November actually get the 27th out in a clinching game, I do not trust them, period. Because when October gets, if they can have the most fabulous regular season, but the Atlanta Braves for me are a cautionary tale about having a fabulous regular season, and then when October gets here, nothing. We saw it last year. I believe we're going to see it again.
Yeah, well, I mean, see, here's the thing, because I've seen, like last year, the Braves won 100 games, okay? And the Mets won 100 games. And you knew that the Phillies were going to be competitive, but because Aaron Nola and because Zach Wheeler and Ranger Suarez and all these other guys were starting to do really, really well, like they all got hot at the right time. Everybody talks about it being in that 9th inning against St. Louis. I think that was definitely like the turning point for sure.
Yep.
But I also realized too that it was in Game 2 of that doubleheader before the Phillies actually clinched a playoff spot. It was when Kyle Schwarber hit that home run, against the Washington Nationals, and then they actually played against the Astros in the very last series at the end of the year, and Schwarber with that leadoff home run. I was thinking, this team is going to make it to the playoffs, and like they're in, and now they just have to get rest. And with the lineup that they have, with everybody that is in this lineup, and if Aaron Nola can just somehow find a way to just like turn back the clock somehow, I feel like that is going to like make this team. That's what's going to make them into like the contender that they should be, but I also think that they can get it done in other ways too. So I don't know. I'm like back and forth with the whole thing, but I do know. This is what I do know. If you're an opponent, okay, Snowman, and you have to go to Citizens Bank Park with the way that they have been rocking that building, not just last year in the playoffs, but this year, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck, because when they trailed the Angels in the second game of that series, and then all of a sudden Schwarber homers, and then Trey Turner homers, and then Alec Boehm with a 3-run bomb to give him the lead, and everybody stood up for the next 4 innings.
Yep.
It's like playing in Houston.
Yes, it is.
Good luck.
Yep.
It's good. Matter of fact, I'm going to just go ahead and put this prediction out there. It's sure to go wrong, but this is what I believe right now. Even with the loss that they took tonight, even with the loss that they took tonight, it'll be the Phillies and the Astros one more time.
Wow. Oh, I love it. With Verlander back, oh my goodness.
It'll be the Phillies and the Astros one more time. Now,
Oh my gosh.
people in the American League, they're picking the Rays, they're picking the Baltimore Orioles. They are so incredibly high on the Texas Rangers, and the Rangers are about to fall right out of the playoff chase altogether. Now, they got lucky with their win today.
Yep.
But
until
you get that 27th out in a clinching situation, everybody's in it.
Yes.
And right now, I lean on this, and it's true. And you know this to be true for the sports that you've covered. To be the champs, you must unseat the champs. And right now, in the American League, it goes through Texas. And I don't mean the Rangers either. I'm talking about it goes through H-Town. In the National League, until you beat the Phillies 4 times, you got to go through Philadelphia. Doesn't matter what Atlanta does. Doesn't matter what the Dodgers do. And I'm not high on the Dodgers in the first place. We've seen them choke so many times it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Save 2020, which was the COVID Invitational for all sports. No, I'm not trusting the Dodgers, and I'm sure as hell not trusting the Atlanta Braves. Because anybody can get, like you said, JJ, anybody can get hot at the right time. And right now, Philadelphia is due to go on another roll and clinch that wild card. And as crazy as this sounds, you know who else could go on a hot streak and clinch that second wild card?
The Cubs.
Don't count out. No, hell no. Don't count out San Francisco. They're not out of it.
Yeah, I don't count them out either. I don't count out the Marlins, but see the only other team, the only other team that I feel like that could actually upset the Phillies, besides like the Atlanta Braves, is the Chicago Cubs. And here's why. Here's why I say the Chicago Cubs. Even though I know that they have guys in their rotation like Steele, who've had like really good seasons, and they do have to prove it at the highest of levels. I just see like what Christopher Morel has been able to do. I've been seeing like what Cody Bellinger has been able to do, and Dansby Swanson has been, like in that sort of same path before. So they're gonna be one of those teams too that I feel like I would face them. I would want to face them more than the Milwaukee Brewers, but I feel like that the Cubs may be a dark horse too. So
not buying it.
Not buying it.
Until they get some more pitching and actually do something with their bullpen.
Yeah.
I ain't buying it.
I'm with you. I am with
I've
you
seen
on
the
that.
Cubs blow leads, even though they're on a hot streak right now.
Yeah.
Even though it seems like they're getting together. Thank you, Tom Brenneman, for this. The stars seem to be aligned for the Chicago Cubs. Everything's coming together for them with an incredible lineup. But we are talking about the Chicago Cubs.
Right.
All right. They, like the Phillies,
I get it.
The Cubs have been maddeningly inconsistent.
I get it. But I trust the Phillies a lot more.
I trust them. I'll trust the Phillies before I trust the Cubs.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's Philadelphia and Atlanta for the National League Championship.
Yep.
Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Philadelphia and the Giants for the National League Championship.
That would be
now,
wild.
All that depends on the draw. But do you know how loud it would be in Citizens Bank Park?
Oh my gosh.
When they are defending their National League pennant? And do
the Eagles play the 49ers in October? Do the Eagles play the 49ers in October?
November.
Okay. Okay, it's November. I was going to say, could you imagine if in October?
Way ahead of you, partner.
Yes.
Way ahead of you. There's going to be a night where the Phillies are playing and the Eagles are playing.
Yep.
And it's going to be huge. The Phillies and the Eagles are going to play a lot of significant games, just like the Giants and the 49ers are going to play a lot of significant games.
Yep.
Don't count out the Giants. All right?
I won't count them out.
Always happens with the Giants.
It's their culture. I get it.
With their run, with Bruce Bochy as their manager. I'm talking about the Giants. Except for one occasion, I want to say it was 2012. They went in as a wild card and then won the damn thing.
Well, now I was actually just going to let you know. Well, now their manager is actually Gabe Kapler, who is a former Phillies manager.
Well,
and
that
so,
should tell you everything you need to know right there.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
Kapler will have those until they're eliminated. They'll have them competing.
Yep.
And depending on the draw, once again, don't be surprised if the Phillies and Giants knock heads for the National League pennant.
Yep.
Do you know how loud both those ballparks will be?
My gosh, I remember going to the game like last year. It was like Game 4 of the NLCS, and literally like I started hearing chirping like after that first inning, like as soon as Juan Soto hit that home run, and it was 4-0. But then as soon as Rhys Hoskins came up to the plate in the bottom of the first, it literally just roared, and like I literally had phone notifications that I was gonna go deaf, and that's how great of a feeling it was. It was so awesome. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Good Lord. I get it. I mean, I went to Game 2 of the World Series in 2005 and thought I was going to lose both of my ears.
Chills.
After Konerko hit that slam.
Yep.
I thought Comiskey Park was going to fall to the ground. And then the Astros tied it in the 9th. And then Scott Podsednik walked us off in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yep.
I didn't have my voice for 2 days. I did not, and I wasn't even supposed to go. I wasn't even supposed to go to that game. I went to a Bears game earlier.
Oh wow!
Against the Baltimore Ravens, and then I get a call at the last minute. Hey, you want to go to Game 2 of the World Series? Huh? What?
Of course. Yeah.
You don't have to ask me twice. Yes. Man,
yes, exactly.
Man, 40,000 people.
Yep.
In White Sox gear for Game 2 of the World Series, and then Podsednik walked us off.
Yep.
The traffic was crazy. I just thank God I took public transportation there.
Wow.
The traffic was crazy coming out of the ballpark. Everybody was honking their horns, flashing their lights, and everything. It was usually a 20-minute ride to my parents' house. You know, it took me 90 minutes to get home.
Sure it did because it
was it was just so crazy.
That's wild.
I get home and my dad is up and all he has is this big smile on his face.
That's so
And
cool.
he just goes, "You saw what happened, right?" And I said, "Yes." And I was very hoarse. And he just had this big smile.
Wow.
Anything can happen in October baseball.
Absolutely.
Anything.
Yes,
Anything.
definitely. Snowman, thanks so much for coming on here.
Hey, thank you for having me, my friend. I really appreciate it.
Of course. I love you, brother.
Love you, brother. Thank you so much.
Yep. Have a good night. All right. Yeah, man. No, I mean, like you heard it from here, just from an overall perspective, and I know that this really like wasn't a whole Phillies post-series recap pod because we haven't really done this in a little bit of time, and we are going to get back into the swing of things. Trust me, we definitely will. We're not just going to be doing the play-by-plays. We are going to be getting back to some of the other stuff that we've been doing on here too. But yeah, no, overall, I'm really not afraid. I'm just hoping that they can have a really good series in San Diego. I know that that's going to be a little bit odd because they play at 6 o'clock tomorrow, then they play at like 9 o'clock on Tuesday, which is 6 o'clock their time, and then they play at 4 o'clock on Wednesday. And then you have a big series against the Miami Marlins. You know, say what you want, they're still competing for a wild card spot. You really have to try to take that series because, God forbid, if they do tie you too, we have to own those tiebreakers. So, we'll see how they do this week. I think that this week is going to be a big test. And, yeah, man, hopefully they can come out on top and hopefully the bats can just keep swinging, all right? I love you guys so much. Before I do let you guys go, I do want to say this. Okay, so I started releasing, all the episodes of stuff that we're going to be doing as far as the play-by-plays go for this week because now I'm getting ready for football season. And our first game is going to be on Sunday. I got to study rosters. I got to study, I got to study both teams, and I got to really get ready for that. So I'm getting like all of my thumbnails, all of my tags, and all those types of things done because I have to get ready for football. And we are going to be doing the Patriots game on Sunday. We won't be doing the Phillies game next week. Next week it doesn't interfere because the Patriots are the night game and the Phillies play on Sunday afternoon. Week after that, we'll just have to wait and see how things are going. If the Phillies are, if the Cubs are battling for that top wild card spot, we'll just have to wait and see. But anyhow, yes. Daniel Berry Sports Highway says, I'm late, but I'm happy that we avoided the sweep. I miss Trey, Jacqueline. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Absolutely. All right, so anyhow, that's going to wrap things up, guys. I love you all so much. We'll be back on tomorrow night. I hope you all have yourselves a great night. But, yeah, I've just been babbling a lot tonight. I'm just happy that I put the headset on and that I just came on here. And thank you so much for just sticking this out with me. Once we, next time we would definitely get back into our regular Phillies Post Series pod selves. All right. Good night. Lila Tov. Catch you on the next one. See ya.